Tell people what phyllotaxis is.
Leaf arrangement and phyllotaxis.
This video uses several sources and also references material from Practical 7 to help describe the morphological adaptations of plants and uses examples to identify the variations in leaf arrangement as a method of capturing light efficiently. Plants are autotrophs. They produce their own energy from light from the sun. A plant's architecture represents their ability to acquire, use, and conserve resources. All flowering plants have shoot systems that develop according to a modular, consistent trend, but different leaf types vary within different gradients of water and light availability. And since these resources aren't always guaranteed, it has to compete for its survival. Therefore, even plant species coexisting in a similar environment have to adapt to meet their own individual needs. Leaves are a group of specialized cells. They absorb almost all the light available to them, and so have to be arranged to avoid self-shading. If shading were to occur, then light becomes a limiting factor in the process of photosynthesis, meaning that the organism cannot perform at its peak even if all other factors are at their optimal levels. Phyllotaxis or phyllotaxy is the arrangement of leaves on a plant stem. It's a technique through which plants adapt their leaf arrangement by adjusting factors such as branching angles to gain more light. Internodes are basic sections of a stem where leaves or branches may grow. Leaves at each node are spaced evenly with respect to one another. We observed and collected images of plants nearby to demonstrate the 5 phyllotaxic patterns. The first being alternate or spiral. It's when only one leaf grows out of a single node. It's somewhat irregular comparatively to the others. Alternate discus is when there are alternate leaves adjacent to one another, forming 2 vertical rows. Opposite discus is when there are 2 leaves forming 180 degrees apart at each node, giving the appearance of 2 rows. In opposite decussate, opposite leaves form successive pairs at right angles to one another, giving the impression of 4 rows from an aerial view. Whorled is when there are 3 or more leaves growing on one node. It is quite uncommon except on plants that have short internodes, an example of which would be rosemary. Experimental interference or abnormal positioning can be easily corrected since a single plant will go through numerous patterns across its lifetime as developmental switches. Under different light regimes, there are different adaptations that plants can go through. For instance, in areas like wetlands, changing seasons themselves may be a limiting factor. In the rainforest, tropical trees grow as tall as possible with optimum branching angles, while the plants on the forest floor have to adapt to maximize the low light they do receive. Whole plant energy has to do with each leaf and energetic trade-offs from biotic interactions, gas exchange, or support. Support has to do with leaf area index, width, angles, and the kind of phyllotaxy. Therefore, in high light intensity conditions, plants such as the eucalyptus may have small or narrow leaves to heat up less and reduce exposure. Some plants may have a waxy layer to reduce the loss of moisture. In contrast, shaded or moist locations tend to have large horizontal leaves to catch small rays of light. It should be noticed that there is no optimal light-obtaining leaf arrangement, but the Bengal palm with its leaves at a golden angle of 137.5 degrees comes the closest. It grows to only have 10 to 13 leaves throughout its lifetime, and the younger leaves are more vertical while the older ones are more horizontal, decreasing self-shading and maximizing light capture. To conclude, in this video we have covered what phyllotaxy is, established its categories according to the needs and conditions of plants, and discussed which variation is optimal. More research is required to make better realistic assumptions on development, natural selection, and evolution. Thank you for watching this video. We hope it was helpful.